Okay. All right. I know this is one of the more pinnacle discussions when it comes to Breaking Bad, and I have quite a few things to say about it, okay? Yo, what is up, everybody? You guys thought we were done with Breaking Bad, but no, we are not. I still have a lot more that I want to uncover with this series, with this universe that includes Better Call Saul, and I've just been waiting for both of them to finish up on YouTube so I can take a little bit more of a stab with these videos now that I have the entire context. But yeah, these videos are basically going to be a deeper dive. Imagine the first reactions and commentary, but this time I can pause. This time I can actually go into the nitty gritty and hopefully catch some things or put together some things, or maybe something I completely forgot about. I didn't even notice. We can get into it, actually pause, and appreciate this body of work at a little finer degree. So if this is something that you're interested in, that's basically what this is going to be about. Now, I want to do multiple episodes into one video. However, I am aware that some episodes are just like, they have bigger gravitational pull and a lot more for me to say. And I think this is also a really great way to test to see if you guys enjoy this in the first place. So I'm going to be starting off with episode 1, but hopefully the goal is to do after episode 1, then I can do episode 2 through like 4 and put that together, 2 through 5, put that all together into one bigger video that looks more in detail with this. Now, depending on how this is, I'm not going to cut out anything, or I'm going to chop it up, make it cleaner for you guys. But depending on how long this runs, I'm not too sure. If it's something that maybe that needs to be shorter and I can put the longer run on Patreon, y'all let me know. But if you guys are really digging this, then I'll keep everything within the YouTube edit. So again, this is just a test run. I don't want to talk too much more. I really want to just get into it, but that is the idea that I want to bring forth to this video. So if this is something that you like, if this is something that you enjoy, and you want to hear more of my thoughts from a filmmaking perspective, from an audience perspective, or just in general when it comes to Breaking Bad and the details of it, well, this is a perfect video for it. We're going to dissect the Breaking Bad universe, first starting off with episode 1, the pilot of Breaking Bad. Okay, so isn't that beautiful? We get the pause. Isn't that fantastic? All right, so I'm going to be in and out when it comes to this. If there's things that I want to say that goes into a little bit more detail, I want to make sure I do that. I don't want to be repeating just with things that other people have said. I really want to dive more into the things that I've said during my reaction, my commentary, and hopefully open up more of that journal. So the first couple of frames here that we get, when we're looking at Breaking Bad, and this was also talked about within the first time watching with my commentary, is the importance of these landscapes. Now, Breaking Bad is a landscape of ideologies, of goals, of ambitions, and that is rightfully shown through the episode Ozymandias. That's another one that I can't wait to get to. But when we're looking at the desert and how it almost seems like a vacuum of space, how this desert, it is unbiased, it doesn't care about who you are, where you came from. It's a playground for those who are ambitious, but it is still a resting place for those who are ambitious and are not ambitious. Almost as if it's like a god figure within this. It's very Wild Western, and I really enjoy all the nature shots that are within this show and how it relates to our characters and the playground that they exist in. All right, I just got to say, this is a beautiful shot right here. Just composition wise, there is just so much to look at and to explore. What I love about compositions and what I love about just filmmaking in general is that, especially when you pause, you can really observe a frame. You can really observe what is the detail, what is the story within a certain frame. And that's the beauty about photography as well, too. But man, Walter Whitey and his tidy whiteys.
No guilt. I am speaking to my family now.
Oh my God, isn't that incredible? I forget, like, this is just my second time rewatching this, by the way. I have it, rewatched this episode for this video or anything. This is me just opening Breaking Bad up again. I think that's the best way to approach something like this, right?
Things that you'll come to learn about me in the next few days. I just want you to know that no matter how it may look, I only had you in my heart.
Man, okay. Again, I'm going to make this very quick so that way we're not sitting here for 12 hours. But just for me, personally, hearing that and then hearing how that motive evolves over time, it's the perfect excuse to hide behind. Not to say that it's not relatable. I highly relate to it. I mean, my goodness, I will do anything for my family. I'll do anything for, my friends even, right? But to hear almost the origin of this and how that same sentence gets said over and over differently throughout the seasons, yeah, that's why I say it's an excuse as much as it is a responsibility that we hide behind, right? Another example of just looking at a frame and being like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on here? Love it. Good composition. I'm saying this now as well because this is going to be something that builds with later episodes if this is something that we continue to do. But pay attention to this house and how over time it turns into a character of its own. And we see its evolution as time goes on. We touched on that on the original reaction and commentary, but I hope to be able to really get into the finer details with things like this.
Chemicals. No. Chemistry is, well, technically, chemistry is the study of matter. But I prefer to see it as the study of change.
Here we go. So I just want him to get to a point where this show is just a body of art that involves chemistry, otherwise known as cause and effect, and the changes of what happens to one's nature when that chemical or that reaction occurs. I mean, I don't have to go into detail about this because I feel like there's hundreds of other analytical videos that can touch way more on the theme of chemistry, especially outside of my videos that I've, already touched on. But I mean, my goodness, it's such a deep study, not just on the nature of Breaking Bad, but on the characters of Breaking Bad, because it doesn't just affect Walter. This is again, similar to how the desert is a neutral source to anybody, not just the power players, but to the pawns as well. Same thing with chemistry. Same thing with the ideologies, with how that works within this world.
Ionic bonds.
Could you imagine if that was, he just dons the cap, he just caps him? I mean, obviously that is the case, but could you imagine how hilarious that would be if that was the trigger? That was the first trigger that set off everything, because of damn Chad.
Make those tires shine, huh?
Oh my God. You would not believe he's cleaning Chad's car. Mr. White. From chemistry.
It's the little things. It really is the little things. I didn't want to pause in between there because it really is just witnessing the accumulation of the little things when it comes to people who are just trying, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this, and it'll lead into another bigger discussion that I'm probably going to get into with this video, and it's about just doing the best you can within a system that is just absolutely not rewarding for your efforts and what that can do to a person. I mean, within that alone, chemistry and evolution can happen just through everyday daily frustrations, right? These things create shame. These things create annoyance. These things create, again, like I said, frustration.
Oh, Oh, you're so very late.
And in reality, it's like, yeah, man, you got a family, you got people that care about you. But it's hard to see that when you don't feel that.
Glock 22. That's my daily carry.
Hank! Oh, man. Schrader. Oh, my God. That's my dog.
No, it's just heavy.
That's why they hire men.
It's interesting. Something really that I just personally noticed there is, from the beginning of this pilot, and he's holding a gun and he's aiming it at somebody, and then this scene right here where it's clear that he has never wielded a gun before, right? Or at least that's what I'm catching right here. This could be obviously just me, but I love that that person wore a dress in green. Now, in color theory, usually green is a sign of envious, sign of jealousy even, but that's just something that I just caught right there. So let me know if you think that's what that would be too.
Hey, listen, can you do me a favor? Can you just drop me off at a corner somewhere?
No. Sorry.
It's just I don't have the greatest insurance.
Take a couple of deep breaths for me.
Okay. All right. I know this is one of the more pinnacle discussions when it comes to Breaking Bad, and I have quite a few things to say about it, okay? And that is going to be the discussion of healthcare. Now, I remember seeing something that says that this entire show is a discussion about the healthcare, especially now with everything that's happening, which is kind of crazy. Now more than ever, you would be inclined to believe that this is the theme, this is the story of Breaking Bad. However, I'm disagreeing with that. Is it a component? Absolutely. We just discussed a little bit of it to a lesser degree, where you keep trying and you're in a system where it doesn't reward you for trying, and that builds this frustration. This is just one of the obviously bigger frustration, but I don't think this is an entire theme on healthcare. That's just my opinion. I haven't heard any of the showrunners say that, or anybody from any discussion say that, except for obviously like people online talking about it. And I can get where they're coming from, right? Like, what if Walter had the right health insurance? Would he still do what he did? And I feel like, yes, he probably still would. Why? Because we see that. We see him literally get better in his reaction towards that. Now, I'm not going to, go into what that is, because that's an episode for later. But I don't think this entire show is a discussion on healthcare. I think that it's a component, and I think the overall theme is transformation. It's quite literally chemistry. Are we who we are even when we are pushed to the brink? Is it possible for change? Is the answer somewhere in between? I feel like they don't give us an answer, and I like that, because it's a question that is almost impossible to answer, but it's real. It's there. It's not 100%, but it's like 90%. And that ambiguity that we find in between there creates the nuances that we see within these characters, Was Walter always this person? Was Skylar always this person? Was Hank? Was Gus and Tuco and even the people in Better Call Saul, was Jimmy McGill always this person? They answer this. I think that is the greater theme, because I think that theme, granted, the healthcare being very relatable, I feel like that theme is much more coding to the entirety of humanity when it comes down to that. So that's something that I really want to get into. We might get into it a little bit more, but I do know and I am aware of that take on Breaking Bad, and I gotta say, I disagree with it. I think it's just a component of an even greater thematic theme to Breaking Bad. If Breaking Bad was a novel, I don't think the theme would be healthcare. I think healthcare would be a component, and the theme would be that of chemistry and who we are in nature and how we change in that nature. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents. Let's keep it going. I love how they continued that sound, that abstract, almost alien sound of, the X-ray revving up. I love how they continue that sound onto the next scene, just to show that that sound is not just the sound of whatever that is, but it's the inner, deeper thoughts that stay with him. I think that's really clever.
It's fine.
Sì, adesso dici che posso dare. Hai cam nevoie dacă atunci mașina e cea mai dată, da? Stai un pic, stai un pic.
I love this shot right here, just specifically on how they are using the space, especially towards this top right. It just goes to show you how distant he is now. I mean, he always was distant. We saw a little bit of it when they were at the party and everybody was at the TV and Walt was still separate from everybody. There's a lot of, they do this a lot in Better Call Saul too, but even in Breaking Bad, the cinematography and the usage of camera work is incredibly smart. I think it's way better in Better Call Saul, but I mean, my goodness, Breaking Bad still is an excellent example with how you should frame a shot, how you should move the camera, why you are doing those things, right? Intention. And yeah, I can't wait to discuss more on those type of things because I come from a background of photography, of street photography. So it's something that is always a joy to see.
Come on, man.
Fuck you, Bogdan.
What?
I said fuck you! And your eyebrows!
He said, F you and your eyebrows. He does have some bushy eyebrows, man. Another thing I want to mention, okay? This is the beautiful thing about me being able to pause it, right? Again, I just want to relate to these frames because it's not just on a filmmaking sense as to why they're good, but almost like a human sense as to why they're good, right? As a photographer, you don't always need to have like everything lined up. You don't have to use photography as like a mathematician would when it comes to making something. I think what really pulls people in that also are unaware to photography or just art in general is the human element. When I see a frame like this, something extremely human about it. Sitting by this pool with the leaves that are in and it's not cleaned, you have this glow of this blue hue. You're not sure if it's a sunrise or, we're getting into blue hour after the sunset. But, even with these type of chairs that he's sitting on and you got the glasses and the one beer here, even just this angle, right? This is just a human frame that is shot, compositionally really, really well. But man, just this entire frame, you can just feel it, just pausing on this frame, this just feels human. And that's what I can't wait to get more into. I just needed to pause it there because, yeah, this is really beautiful. Somber. Maybe you guys have that American dream, and sometimes you just gotta go in the backyard and, I don't know, just take some time to yourself. Because an American dream, that comes with a family, it comes with sacrifice, it comes from halting your ambitions and in hopes of sparking another. Okay, I gotta say something really quick. And I gotta give whoever did the set production for just this tiny place right here. Oh my God! Look at all of this. This is something that obviously a lot of people that just aren't aware of what goes into a lot of films and TV shows. But man, I mean, look at all this stuff here. Look at all this stuff that is on the counters. It's on the ground. The set production within Breaking Bad is incredible, but again, it's it evolves throughout these episodes as we'll get into later on if we continue this. But man, I gotta commend all of the details here. It looks like there's a jar of piss right there. I mean, what is that about? Is that Jesse? I think that's Jesse. I think that's how they first see one another, or more so he is aware of Jesse.
Pinkman?
Oh, the beginnings to a forever burning relationship. Oh my goodness. I love this music that starts playing too.
I didn't picture that. There's a lot of money in it, huh?
I just gotta say, I can't help but rein back to the relationship between these two and how it's literally Jesse is a damn dog. I mean, they treat, or at least they definitely try later on, but they treat him as a dog. And this relationship, as Walter's pulling closer, and Jesse is like, obviously in this one it's disguise of like unsureness. I mean, he doesn't know what the heck's happening, but we see this dance done multiple times later on. It's interesting how fast it started. I looking back, I didn't expect it to be so evident within the first episode.
I'm thinking maybe you and I could partner up.
You want to cook crystal meth?
Another thing that I want to mention is look at who's taking up the most space here. We're going to talk a lot when it comes to camera work, so I hope that you are ready for it. But man, just look at how dominant Walter is within this space, within this framing here. And look at Jesse. Jesse is so much smaller. You can see half of his body within this frame. Whereas Walter, I mean, my goodness, he's staring at Jesse. He's more forward. We can see and feel who is much more in control of this situation, not just from what's being said and the luring that's happening within what's being said, but more so also within the framing of these characters. We're going to see a lot of that, especially when two characters are conflicting. We're going to see that dance a lot.
I just thought a novel would be easier to sell.
Yeah, well, maybe so.
Okay, so looking back now, because this just flew, this almost flew over my head, not really catching this, but even just the whole dialogue between, with Skylar and her sister, it's very evident that this is hinting at what Skylar does later on, why she decides to engage with Walter's doings with, drugs and everything, because there's also this hidden ambition within this character. We see it with a lot of characters, even with Marie later on. But I love that this is almost foreshadowing that there are deeper desires that, characters outside of Walter would like to have. And they don't mind engaging in activities or maybe betraying their own morality in order to get there. And we see that. But this is an interesting foreshadow right here.
You flunked me. Remember?
No wonder.
Prick. And let me tell you something.
I miss Jesse. God damn it, I miss this dude, Jesse. Whoo! I'm so happy what happens with his life. I'm so happy. Even though it's still crap, he still got out.
If you've gone crazy or something, I mean, if you've gone crazy.
It's so great that Jesse actually is like, yo, what is your mental state? Because obviously Walter doesn't care. He doesn't care about asking Jesse about this. He didn't ask Jesse about this. He kind of threatened him.
Big boy pants. What are you doing?
What's wrong, Chief?
Oh, let's go. We all look forward to this. This is the cathartic release that I feel like all of us really love about Breaking Bad, right? It's the effect that comes from the cause of when you all that accumulation and we just had enough and we can finally fight back. But I'm telling you, this is purposely done. A lot of y'all got tricked by it. I remember my experience with Breaking Bad and seeing the comments, seeing like how much hate was towards Skylar because she would like try and dampen that. But I'm telling you, this like the cathartic release of Walter doing this. There's so many instances, and it just gets worser and worser and worser and worser to the point to where it's like, no, Walter, please stop. Stop doing that. Stop. You don't have to do this anymore. But it's great. I mean, again, there's a reason to why this pulls so much to the human emotion, because I'm sure we all felt this, right? We don't have to experience exactly what's happening, but again, this is a look into what we can say is like middle class America, where you're trying your best and it just seems like you're not getting a break, and you want to evolve from that. You want to, instead of cowering away, you want to show up to a moment and present yourself and finally put your foot down. Quite literally, he's putting his foot down.
Those, wow. Those, you're keeping those on, right?
God, I miss these two. This is so great. I'm so glad I get to revisit this. Oh man. Now, we're gonna see a whole lot of this, but man, I love the montages in Breaking Bad. They go so hard. They go so damn hard. It's insane. You know, this is like really, really cool, obviously, but man, they get really next level when it comes to the content matter later on during this run. What is this, Crazy 8? Oh man, seeing this connection with Better Call Saul was insane. Absolutely insane.
Wait a minute. Listen to me. I'll teach you my recipe.
Do you know how many times this happens within Breaking Bad? Do you know how many times this man is going to be held at gunpoint or facing some form of death, but is just able to, like, skillfully just charisma base his way out of it? Like, it's pretty incredible. I can't believe I'm seeing it in episode 1, but man, this is like a symphony throughout the entire just series. Now, as crazy as this is, I do have to say I think it's really great when it comes into play with the theme of cause and effect, of chemistry. We're seeing the results of this, right? We're seeing the damn results of how what one little match can do to a landscape. You know, under the right conditions, it can cause a wildfire. It's crazy. That's crazy, isn't it? He was just ready to blow his head off. Now, again, as we continue on with this, I have to say I love that all this is happening within the desert. And if you see the events of Breaking Bad, notice where a lot of the more pivotal moments happen. Not to say that they always happen in the desert, but I'm talking about the more life-changing, character-changing moments. They seem to always be happening in the desert, which goes along with what we were talking about earlier about this landscape really being almost the playground for just human ambitions, human evolution, life, death, all of it. Everyone becomes equal here when it comes to the desert of Breaking.
Hey, what you do?
I just noticed this too. You guys, I mean, this could be just me reaching as well, but I'm going back to what I said about the color theory when it came to green and how he saw green, and I think it's interesting now that he's wearing green. You know, we described that green as, in color theory, it's envious, it's jealousy. And he saw that with the woman who was wearing the green dress. I just find it very interesting now that he's donning the green. That could just be a reach, but again, a lot of things in color theory can be. So it's better to just say it, let you interpret it. You can agree, disagree, but it's better out than in.
We gotta clean this up.
we gotta clean this up. He's just like holding the gun all over the place. I love that at the beginning of this episode, we saw Walter being the one that was awake while Skyler was sleeping, and now we have Walter sleeping, Skyler now awake. We're showing the scale of I guess what can put Walter at ease, you know? This life that he was living wasn't giving him enough pleasure to rest. But now, once he started his new venture, he can tap the hell out, right? I just find that to be really interesting. I didn't catch that the first time. All right, guys. So yeah, I hope that you guys can that you guys can revisit this journey along with me with a little bit more of a deeper knowledge. And I feel like I can input a lot more of filmmaking analysis while also just more analysis just in general, me as a person, me as a human being. I think this is going to be a really cool journey. Again, I would like to put multiple episodes in one video, but I don't know if you guys don't mind me going into every episode with this intention, then by all means, then I'll do just that, so that way you guys can get more. But if we are gonna do like multiple episodes, I might have to cut up like a good bit of it. It's incredible seeing this body of work at its very beginning, because you really do get the feeling that they knew exactly what they were doing from the very first episode. Not everything, but at least when it comes to the themes and where they would like to transform these characters, there are clear implications that I feel like are not just interpretations, but more so just sprinkles that are put in from the showrunners and the creator of this series that are not even just pertain to Walter, but to Jesse, to Skylar, these deep desires, these deeper ambitions that are just waiting to grow and blossom, whether through terrible circumstances or flourishing ones. I think that is really beautiful. And again, I'll finish it off with this. Yeah, I disagree with Breaking Bad being a statement on healthcare. I think that is just one of, again, the components. I think it's a lot deeper than just that, believe it or not. I think it's so much deeper. I think this entire series is a human psychological expose of just being human. It's a human element. It's almost like a love letter to what it's like to be human and the transformation and the humans that we can transform into when it comes to that adaptation, cause and effect. The things that we can't change. It's all present here. And I think that is such a brilliant thing to have as a foundation for your characters to spin in, to have their own gravitational pulls, to be in this universe with. And we see that not just within Breaking Bad, but in Better Call Saul as well. So I would love to get to Better Call Saul later on in life, but again, I'm having so much fun with this. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Is this something that you want to have more of? I'm curious to hear your thoughts, just even in the comments. Like, are there certain things that you found to be interesting within this episode, or things that you can't wait to explore more as we continue with this episode? This is just only episode 1, so I'm very happy to hopefully start this back up. But again, if you guys want to support something like that, make sure to leave a like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and even better, if you want to be able to support the channel, the best way to do it is by checking out the Patreon. I would love to read your comments on there as well too, and hopefully answer them in the next video. So if you want to potentially see your comment and be answered, by all means, go ahead and check out the Patreon. But other than that, this is really fun. I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. As always, stay healthy and stay hydrated, because we are just getting started.